Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Team Fortress TV, the ESEA Season 21 North American Invite Playoffs. We have a fantastic match for you tonight. The number 1 seed, RONIN GG, the defending champions, will take on Street Hoops eSports, the number 4 seed, in a best-of-3 match to see who will move on to face Froyotech in the upper bracket finals. My name is Mr. SLIN. On camera tonight, we have Mathsad, and joining me on the cast is Truktruk. And Kurt, I think we have a fantastic match lined up for everyone tonight.
Yeah, for sure. This is the rematch of last year's finals, in which RONIN took down Street Hoops in pretty easy fashion, if I remember correctly. So we'll see how this goes down tonight, Slyn.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. I think Randa at one point brought up the direct hit, so it wasn't super close. But I think this time around, it'll be a lot closer. Both these teams are in the upper brackets, so whichever team gets knocked out of this round will go to face EVL Gaming in the lower bracket. But we have a best of 3. The first map will be Metalworks, followed by Sunshine. And then if we go to a third map, it'll be Process. But let's talk a little bit about this match here, Kurt. Both of these teams are on very large winning streaks. RONIN are 15-1. They've only lost 1 match this season to Froyotech on Viaduct. And Street Hoops, meanwhile, are on an 8-game winning streak ever since their loss to RONIN back on Battlelands, week 5.
Yeah, Street Hoops has actually been looking very strong after their very, very shaky start the first half of the season. Like we were talking about pregame, they've only lost 1 game with Kozin and Ash on their roster, and I think that's very important to note. And their roster mix-up during the middle of the season seemed to have proven to be very, very influential in their success throughout the rest of the season, and probably part of the reason they're actually in playoffs after their very rough start of the season.
Yeah, it's true, but the one loss that they did take with that new roster was to the team that they're facing tonight, RONIN GG. So, and that's been consistent. I think RONIN GG has been just a very solid team throughout both of these 2 seasons, and they've shown that they are 1 notch above all the other teams. Although that mix-up when they did go up against Froyotech was a big deal. Froyotech were going to play with Decimate, and they swapped in Clockwork, and that ended up allowing them to beat RONIN on their best map, which was Viaduct. But I think RONIN for the rest of the season has been extremely solid, taking Froyotech down again.
Yes, very much so. I think Viaduct is probably Froyotech's best map, and RONIN was kind of caught off guard with the ridiculous sniping of Corsa on that match that I remember casting with Mike or Getawell many weeks ago. And this is not Viaduct. This is Metalworks and Sunshine. So maybe they'll bust out the sniper on Sunshine, but Metalworks really isn't a problematic sniper map, and I'm not really sure if Street Hoops has like that much sniping power other than Ash, as he did have a good season last year on sniper, but I don't know how much influence he has had this year with that.
Yeah, they have a couple different threats, but I think that'll just transition us into the conversation about the rosters. So let's go down the rosters for RONIN GG, the number 1 seed. You have 404 on Medic, Badonsky on Demo, Rando on Pocket, Mela on Roamer, and Shrugger and Yomps on Scout. And for Street Hoops eSports, it'll be Kozin on Medic, Duatna on Demo, Showstopper on Pocket, Ash on Roamer, and Sizer and Alec on Scout. And just by hearing the names here, Kurt, there's a lot of experience on both of these teams.
Yeah, if you've been around the TF2 community for the past year or so, you probably know most of these players' names, and the ones that you don't know, they've definitely moved up and stepped up, such as Yomps, who kind of came out of nowhere, joined the RONIN squad, or the Ascent squad when they were called Ascent, and kind of made a name for himself for the past 2 seasons, just getting better and better, being surrounded by a bunch of veterans in the rest of his team.
Yeah, I think Yomps is an amazingly good player. And one of the things to note when you look at these 2 rosters is that RONIN GG has had a roster that has stayed the same over the course of 2 seasons. They have the exact same 6 players that they had last season. And that's a big advantage as they go and face these other teams in the playoffs, because teams like Froyotech and Street Hoops have been swapping their rosters around. Froyotech swapping the roster as early as yesterday when they swapped around Banny over to Roamer. So Froyotech has had a shaky roster, and Street Hoops, they recently added Kozin and Ash to their team, like we mentioned, and that has been proven to be a very strong addition for them. They lost Ninja Nick. Ninja Nick went to go play Medic for Froyotech, and picking up Kozin has been very good for their team.
Yeah, as far as just straight up winning games, but not really stomping games like Ronin has been. Street Hoops is definitely winning the games with their new roster, but Ronin is just seems to be leagues ahead of everybody else in Invite this season. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be expecting much different out of tonight's games here, Slin.
It is a match of two titans going up against each other. A lot of invite experience on either team. Both these teams have players that have been to many different lands, and Street Hoops has two world champion players on their team in Duana, who's a two-time world champion, played for Froyotech, and then Ash last year at I-55 played with Froyotech on Scout and got a championship there too. So you would see that like it's two teams that are very experienced going up against each other, but at the same time, Street Hoops does not look as polished as Ronin does, and that shows in their win-loss records as well, with Ronin only taking 1 loss this season and Street Hoops taking 5.
Yeah, and you bring up a really good point that they are veterans, and I probably would be saying the same thing if we were casting the match that 20B upset Froyotech in the lower bracket finals of last season. Like I would have said Froyotech had it handily, much like I'm probably going to say Ronin has it handily, but you never know. That's why they play the game. 20B is capable of pulling off major upsets, and that's why we're here casting.
Yeah. Well, we were talking earlier about some of the threats that Street Hoops has to face Ronin with, and I think one of their threats and one of the potential snipers for tonight will be Sizer. He is the most experienced player in all of ESEA. He's been playing since season 2, which is the very first season of ESEA TF2. So Sizer's been playing for 20 seasons. Like he has so many 20 seasons. He has so much experience. He brings that to the team, and that'll be a good source of leadership for the team. But also, you know, you got players like Kozin, Duatna, Showstopper, Ash, like all these guys, Alec even, like
yeah,
they just have every single player is a very, very strong player, and that's why they got second place last season. I just don't know if they're going to have the polish that Ronin has. They're just looking so strong.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising if they came out strong though. But in order to win, in order for them to win this game, what do you think they need to do? I think they're going to need to win or pick up some early rounds and slow the game down. Is that kind of your mindset in this? If 20B is going to pull this off?
Yeah, I think one of the strengths for Ronin is that they are so refined. They're so polished. They've been playing together for a while, so their technique is down, and they move so much faster than other teams that it can be hard to handle. So if Ronin is able to get a lead in the match, you're not going to be able to take that away from them. They'll be able to slow the game down, play the pace that they want to play the game that they want to play, and not let 20B back into the game. So if 20B want to have any chance in winning this match or winning this series, they're going to have to take early rounds and then hold on to them. And if they can slow it down to that 6-on-6 even Ubers and maybe swap Alec or Ash or Sizer over to Sniper and just slow the game down that way, that will play into their favor. I think that's one of the best chances that they have for keeping hold of Ronin. But Ronin they're so feisty, man. Like I don't know how you can beat this team. This team has not taken a loss in a while, and
yeah,
I don't see them taking a loss here tonight.
Yeah, neither do I. I guess I don't know if it's too early to transition to predictions as more and more players are entering the server. But what do you think? Who do you think is going to win on this game? And then who do you think is going to win the first map? Then we'll get to the second map as we do the pregame for that one. Who do you think is going to take this map, and what's the score going to be?
Well, I think we alluded to it earlier. I think Ronin's the stronger team of these two. I wouldn't call it David versus Goliath, but I would say that 20B it's a very strong, experienced team. They deserve their spot in playoffs. A lot of people predicted these guys to be second or third place this season, but they ended up in fourth. EVL Gaming coming out of nowhere, taking very early wins early on in the season. They were undefeated for a long time. They ended up with a better record at third place, but even in recent scrim results, you see when EVL goes up against 20B, that EVL actually is able to take many rounds off of Street Hoops. So I just don't see Street Hoops doing that well tonight against Ronin. Like I said, I'd be very surprised if they won either of these maps. So I expect Ronin to take these with like a 5-1 or 5-2 scoreline.
I want to say I 20 believe, but I really can't for pretty much all the reasons you just stated. That Ronin, his finesse is just so fast. They're just so fast, so strong. Like no team is so solid in every single aspect, every single class. I'm gonna have to say 5-2 on Metalworks. I don't know. We'll see how Metalworks goes. Then I'll give a Sunshine prediction. But I definitely think this is going to be a Ronin game. And speaking of Ronin on Metalworks, remember watching Shade review a demo of I believe it was Ronin versus Froyotech when Ronin won that game. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, not too many
And
weeks ago, week 7.
yeah, and Froyotech could not handle Mela high bombing every single mid. I think there were 6 mids that game. I believe Ronin won 5-1. And Mela high bombed every round. Maybe if 20B studied those demos and figured out some strats to win these mids, because I'm pretty sure Mela's gonna keep doing it if it's not gonna fail.
Yeah, Mela is definitely one of the stronger players on Ronin. He's their team captain. He's really really good at the game, and a lot of people don't give enough credit for just how creative he is with the way that he plays. They did beat Froyotech 5-2 on Metalworks, so we know that Metalworks is a comfortable map for Ronin, and I wouldn't expect them to have play any less tonight. I think they're going to be really strong. I think the biggest threat though for Ronin is their scouts. Shrugger and Yomps are the fiercest scout duo in North America. The only scout duo that was able to go up against them and be able to handle that was Banny and Clockwork back on Viaduct. And I think now that Banny's playing Soldier again, there's really not a scout duo in North America that can handle these two scouts. And Yomps and Shrugger are just unstoppable.
Yeah, when you look at the two rosters, it's like who's gonna handle Shrugger? Okay, this and this player, but then who's gonna handle Yomps after that? Like really, like if they just tank their scouts, Ronin, I don't see them losing like any fight as long as they keep their scouts at decent health, and that's exactly what 4-4 has been doing all season, allowing Shrugger and Yomps to just pile on the frags, as both of them have statistically had very stellar seasons.
Yeah, I think the consistency of those two scouts makes it really easy for Rando and Mela to do their jobs. They can jump around freely and feel free to lead the combo and trust that their scouts are going to be able to hold off any threats. And that's what I expect to see here tonight on Metalworks. I expect to see the scouts shutting down Ash and shutting down Showstopper. Although I think Ash, he's actually been really good on Roamer. I would hoping he can pull something out tonight here, something creative, but I'm pretty sure that Ronin's combo will be able to hold tight. And 404 has been so good on medic, so consistent. He's just one of the best medics in North America.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't want to like sound like we're bashing 20B. Just Ronin is really that good, but to go on the 20B perspective, like we mentioned, I think they're on a 7-game winning streak after their first loss with Kozin and Ash. And Ash and Kozin have progressively played better and better within the season, throughout the season, as time has gone on. Like Kozin at one time, I personally think he was one of the best medics in North America, right behind Shade, and he might be coming back to form. I know a lot of people from Ronin actually think very highly of his medic play and his leadership abilities, his communication factor, and maybe that's what 20B was missing in the middle of the season, and that's exactly what Kozin has brought to that team. And like you said, you never know. You never know if 20B can pull it off, and I think if they do pull it off, it will be behind the creative comms of Kozin.
Yeah, I think Kozin's a very strong addition to the team, and I think that just the entire roster of both these teams, if you would pair them up and at any other point in the match, at any other point in the season, go, hey, which team is going to win? Like it could be a toss up here. I think it's an option. It's definitely a possibility for 20B to take maps, take rounds, take a victory tonight, but. We'll see what happens in this match. As it's going to be a best of 3. If you guys are just joining us, this is ESEA Season 21 upper bracket first round. So the winner of this match will go on to face Froyotech in the upper bracket finals, and the loser will go to face EVL Gaming in the lower bracket finals. Both these matches will be covered later on this week, and playoffs have been coming up. This is the most exciting part of the year, where everyone's just waiting to see who's going to be the best team in North America. And Ronin are the defending champions from last season, but 20B plays second, and maybe this will be their chance to avenge themselves and take a win tonight.
Yeah, they're definitely thinking about that second place finish, and these are the people that dealt them that loss, and they want revenge for sure. I know they kind of troll a little bit on Twitter. I know Alex like tweeted, "I'm going to snipe the whole game," but they're
Who's the
taking
biggest
this
troll on
serious.
Twitter though? I think it's Ash.
Oh really?
I think Ash is the biggest Twitter troll on out of these two teams. I think he's pretty good at that.
They're just swaying the odds on Saloon. Let's be real here. They're it's not like they're not scrimming and they're just trying to take away a check. They're scrimming every single night. They're ready to go. But like we said, are they ready to take on the force that is Ronin? And we will
Yeah.
see it. We're waiting on 2 players here, SLIN.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I'm really there's a lot of people in chat. I know there's a lot of people in the community that'll be rooting for 20B. They'll be 20 believing hashtag 20 believe, but Ronin again, they've just been very consistent throughout the season, and it's one of those things where in past seasons this team has been even undefeated in the regular season and not managed to get the victory. Last season was the first season where Ronin was actually starting to win tournaments and win ESEA, and they're looking to continue their reign as they head into this playoffs. And well, this is the first round, so we're gonna see what Ronin has to show off. They've been playing a lot of the lower level teams and stopping them. It's hard to tell, like when you see Ronin do that, like, hey, are they really that good? You know, if you're 5-0 a team like you know, a middle of the pack team, it's not really as impressive. But if you go up against another top 4 team, that's when you really know that Ronin is that good. Or maybe not. Maybe 20B will pull out the win tonight.
Yeah, obviously 20B is here, so they are a top 4 team, and they've looked strong in their last few games to make it into playoffs. And what do you expect to see out of this first mid here, as the game is going to start shortly, as we need one final player in the server? What do you think 20B needs to do right off the bat to get on the front foot, get right in there and get a lead on this match?
I don't know, man. There's so many different options. Like you said, you can go for high bombs. You can go for plays where you get behind. I think that's one of the things that's really interesting that Roamers have been doing was get behind on the enemy shack and turn them around. So that way you have this sort of surround. When you play on top of that shack behind the enemy team, you can, you know, not only shoot them from the front, but also, you know, behind on high ground. So that can be really strong. That's an option for them. You're not going to expect to see a sniper at the mid, although there is that really long sight line. But Metalworks is a map that does favor a sniper because it is one of these longer maps. I think all 3 of the maps that we see in the pool tonight in this first round are maps where you could be playing sniper. So Metalworks, Sunshine, Process, they all outdoor, very long sightline maps. So it's very likely that we will see sniper. Shrugger has been like one of the best snipers in North America. He's just so good. So a lot of times you'll see Ronin default to that, where they let things even out. They sacrifice Shrugger in, swap him over to sniper. And Metalworks is another map where it's also very difficult to push out of a defensive position when you're not in control of middle. Taking back middle is so difficult, and I think the offensive teams, like something that's really new in the meta that we've been seeing, is the 2-man sacrifice. So rather than going for the old 1-man sacrifice, you go for a 2-man and incentivize the team to push out of last or push out of second.
Actually, from a lot of the demos we were watching to prepare for this cast, a lot of that was going on in the matches we were watching. The 2-man sacrifice, baiting the other team out to push, and then just steamroll them off of a forced terrible Uber on the other team. So in order to break these stalemates, I definitely agree that 2-man sacrifice is definitely seeming to incite pushes and bait people out and convert rounds that normally end up in stalemates.
Yeah, I agree with you. And 20B, I wouldn't call them as an impatient team, but they're a team that likes to take advantage of those opportunities. If they see a 1-man advantage, or they see a 20-30% advantage Uber, they're going to go for those pushes. A lot of teams wouldn't go for those, but you know, they're going to opt to try and push out of those situations. And they need to take risks here if they're going to get a win against Ronin. They got to find some sort of advantage, some sort of edge to get them in the lead so they can hold on to that and maybe take the win tonight. And we're going to be playing 3, maybe 2, at least 2, maybe 3 maps. Process is a map that all the teams are comfortable with, but Metalworks and Sunshine are 2 of the least played maps, just generally speaking, whether it's in pugs or in matches. So teams aren't as comfortable with this map as they are with a map like Badlands or Snakewater. But you know, we'll see. Maybe that'll be an opportunity to see some interesting strategies tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that I don't think that heavily favors the underdog, but I do think it does favor the underdog with the inexperienced maps. Maybe some sort of raw DM ability, or just map ability to understand the map a little bit more based off how little it's played. Maybe if they did their studies, a little bit more studies, maybe that will end up helping 20B. But we'll
I
see.
think another way to look at that is to say that if the map is Badlands, everyone's played it so many times, the strategies are pretty well fleshed out and everyone knows how to play the map. If the map is Sunshine, this is one of the newer maps in the rotation. Not a lot of teams have figured out every single strategy there, especially Sunshine, which is a map that has been undergoing many different revisions still to this day. Metalworks is a map that has stayed consistent throughout, you know, the seasons, but
Not many
It's a
people
map
like
that
it.
doesn't get a lot of, yeah, not many people like it. You're right.
Yeah, it's just not played much. Not many people like it. It tends to favor a little bit more stalemate of play, and I actually do think off that point, I think it does favor 20B. They want it really puts a lot of pressure on 20B to get ahead early, because if you bust out that sniper, like you said, the sightlines are pretty insane. You can slow down the game with a sniper, and I kind of hope for 20B if they do for 20B. If they do,
420B.
Haha, internet. Anyway, I kind of hope that. What was I saying?
No, I agree with you.
kind of
I
hope
think
that
that
they slow down
20B
the
could
game.
maybe get opportunities on this map, but you have to understand that Ronin's also very well versed in this map as well here. Like we said, they got a 5-2 victory over Froyotech in week 7, so near the end of the season, and they were able to defeat the second best team in North America, right? So, you know, maybe it favors 20B with an opportunity to maybe bust out a new strategy that hasn't been seen before, but at the same time, Ronin's got to be very aware of that as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just can't. It's so hard to say anything like negative about Ronin. It's like they're not really going to tilt if they fall behind. Like I kind of feel like 20B might start to tilt if they fall behind. Like this match really comes down to 20B getting ahead early. Otherwise, I think it's like in the books after the first round. I don't want to be that negative, but it's just how I feel. I can't be dishonest, you know? Like this. Yeah. I want to see a close match. We'll see.
Well, we do have 12 players in the server, so we should be getting started any moment now. But you're right, Ronin is a team that is doing really well. They are the top team in North America, and it's up to them tonight and in the matches coming in this week to prove that again. But this is a team, like I said, that in the past they just were not. They didn't have the best game possible. They weren't winning ESEA. They weren't winning these side tournaments, but they're at a point now where they finally hit their stride. I think that we've never seen a better version of this team, and with the pickup last season of 4-4 and with Yomps, I think that's just so they're looking so good. And if they can take back-to-back victories, that would be really cool to see. But I'd also love to see an upset here from 20B.
Yeah, you're right, and that definitely is a thing to look at. Like, is Ronin a little bit too confident? Like, I'm sure they all feel the same way, that this, at least the veterans of this team, all feel like this is, like, we are the shit right now. Like, we are the best team. Like,
no doubt.
No one can really contest us. Like, I'm sure there was intricate reasons as to why they lost to Froyo on Viaduct, but that's their only loss. Like, they beat Froyo the next time they played against them, so... Yeah,
and this is the team that, as we head into the summer, like everyone's expecting Ronin to continue to stay together and potentially represent North America as the best team in North America, as they go to face against Europe and Australia and all the other countries over at I-58. So this is a team that a lot of people are putting their faith in, and I think the bets would represent that on SLIN. And I just think that Ronin are going to be really solid. But it looks like we're going to get started in this match here. Again, this is the upper bracket, round 1, the number 1 seed Ronin taking on 20B. And can 20B avenge their loss from last playoff? So we'll see what happens here tonight.
Yes, Lynn, you're going to have to take this first mid here, as my game shut off as the game went live. So here we go.
Yeah, and this is Metalworks, guys. This is a map where the Devilman will get out early, and you can either take the high ground or the low ground, and then keep an eye on those roamers there, because they could go for something a little passive, or they could go for the wall bombs, get behind the enemy team, do some disruptive plays there. It looks like Badonsky, Duana getting out. Alec actually pushing underneath the right side, trying to pressure Badonsky over towards the left. Badonsky's at half health, took some damage from Duana. There's Mela high in the sky, over to face Ash. Ash is expecting him though, and takes Mela down right at the start of this mid. Ash outplaying Mela and gives the one-man advantage over to 20B. Now Ash is actually rotating on the left side and forcing 4-4 over to the top right, and Sizer Duana putting damage over the top right. 4-4's pretty low.
Ash is in behind, just doing so much damage to Yomps and Rano, taking them both down. Somehow 4-4 lives through that transaction, and Duana is on the hunt. He's seeing blood. Duana was hitting some nice spam on the 4-4 on that fight as they continue to roll forward.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is one of the star players of 20B, Duana, leading the way, carrying the torch, and that was a great victory from 20B. This is exactly what they need to get themselves out to an early lead in this match. Even Ubers for either team, so things are going to even out here as Yomp switches over to Sniper, but Showstopper looks like he wants to go.
Yeah, here they come, right down the bridge. He hasn't popped just yet. Kozen takes a body shot right before he pops, almost drops. Showstopper only gets Rando with that Uber, and it looks like Ronin's going to be pushing in with their Uber advantage.
Yeah, you know, 404 did manage to back off and stay away from Showstopper, didn't pop that Uber, so they did lose Rando, but not a high price to pay for the Uber of Kozin. They're going to be rotating through the right side banana, try to get themselves towards the point. Duatna has a trap above the point on second here, and looks like 20B is playing pretty far back. They know that Uber threat is there for Ronin.
Yeah, they're just playing really safe, and speaking of safe, Duatna takes down Badonsky, and Ash is actually hiding lower. I don't know if he needs to hide here after they get that first pick, but Duatna might actually get caught out here. He's taking a lot of damage. Ash is actually caught out lower. They know he's there. Shrugger takes him down, and it looks like Ronin's actually having some trouble pushing out here as 4-4 does get forced.
Yeah, Rando's it doesn't hit an air shot on the Showstopper, takes him down, but Ronin, it was looking really good for them at the start of that. Badonsky did get picked off, and then they started pushing forward and getting kills. May was able to turn one. They got Ash later on, but that Uber, which is not very effective from Ronin, Kozin has such a large advantage here, and this is looking really good for 20B to retake second and maybe leapfrog this push.
Yeah, they need this. They need this first round, like we were saying, and they're pushing this flank with their Uber. They're taking it nice and slow, trying to avoid as much spam as they possibly can, looking out for that jump from Mela. Ash initiates the fight, shoots a bunch of stickies at himself, doesn't die somehow, but it does make room for his team. Somehow, Badonsky didn't see that and dead. And it looks like they're going to be able to edge out this point.
Well, I'm really surprised that 20B isn't getting more aggressive here because they know they have a very large Uber advantage, and Showstopper just isn't pulling the trigger. He's too scared to go for it. He's spamming from shutter door. He's not really going for that push. Duatna is even peeking here. They know they had that advantage, and they're wasting it. 404 is able to get Uber in time here, but 20B, with the threat of that Uber, is able to take fourth point.
Yeah, so now we're in a little stalemate situation. Is this where they bust out the sacrifice and get a sniper on Ash or Size, or maybe even Alec?
I mean, if you're looking,
happen here?
If you are the coach of 20B and you're looking at the playbook, this is exactly what 20B want to be doing. They want to even out the Ubers, even out the numbers, sacrifice a player, swap maybe Alex, Sizer, or Ash over to Sniper, and then slow play. If they have the advantage here, there's plenty of time on the clock in this first half, and they can slow down the game as much as they'd like and swap over to Sniper and maybe get a play onto Yomps, or if they can get a kill onto the Demo Man, that'd be nice.
Here comes Show and Ash. So the two-man sack like you were talking about, trying to get that force onto 4-4, but they just go down. Is Ronin going to push off this? It looks like Ronin actually might play into 20B's hands here, as Duatna has a cheeky trap in this lobby area. He deaths.
Well, both teams know that two-man sacrifices are a thing now as Badonsky starts to push towards the point, but Rando's peeking out through Shutter and is able to take significant amounts of ground without popping Uber.
Here's the Kozin Uber. This looks kind of sloppy. Both teams trade Ubers. Rando gets a frag with it onto Sizer, and it looks like Duatna and Kozin are going to be caught out here by Rando's jump over Duatna. And oh my god, Duatna's still in the air. He's still alive. Kozin does go down. And yeah, that was a very rough exchange for 20B as Duatna just jumps to his death, and Ronin is plowing right here.
Yeah, not exactly going to plan. You do have one threat, that's Ash behind them, playing by drop down, but Shrugger spots that out there and takes him down. Now there are no threats from 20B, and Ronin just playing very cleanly. I'm surprised that second exchange went the way that it did, because Kozin was the one to pop Uber first instead of 404. Typically on the two-man sack, you want the other team to pop first.
The focus fire and the spam was so real onto Duatna, he just had to pop unless he wanted to lose his down man, and that's exactly what happened. And Showstopper's jumping into the flank, trying to force some action as Rando jumps back across onto Duatna, losing his own demo man. And actually, Badonsky is down, and 4-4 is forced to pop here.
Yeah, Ronin doing a really good job with this Uber, getting a couple kills, taking down a couple players. They did lose Badonsky, though, in the process, and that's not really going to help them out too much here, but they are able to set up second point, and 20B have no intent to push despite the 50% Uber advantage. They're already backing up to last here, and that's going to make it really difficult for them to push out quickly if they want to take this ground, because that lobby is so hard to get through quickly.
Yeah, it's a very wide open area. It's easy to get back capped if you're not careful enough. Lots of trap potential as well, and it looks like they're trying to make something happen, but they're not pulling the trigger too quickly. They might catch out Melee here, and this might be what they need, but they force so early, and it looks like all of Ronin is nowhere in sight. This Uber is pretty rough here, SLIN.
Yeah, so nicely played by Mela to force the Uber and get out alive. 20B got nothing with that Uber except for the capture point, and that's not going to be good enough for them here because 404 has a very large advantage, and they're going to push on it right now.
Yeah, here they come. They're going to... Oh, they do actually force, so this is pretty decent for 20B. As long as they don't lose too many players, they lose Duatna, and they probably are going to lose Ash here. So instead of being an okay force, they lose 2 players off of that Uber, and I'm going to expect a dry push from Ronin here. Here they come.
Yeah, but Ronin are not bringing their scouts with them, and so Sizer and Alec are actually pushing forward and turning frags here, actually putting in a decent amount of damage. Shrugger's in the resistance. Rando in from behind with the shotgun out, takes down Sizer, and they're on to the point now. Alec is not going to be able to stop this if Duana doesn't spawn in time, and Ronin are going to be the first ones on the boards, 1-0.
Yeah, a strong showing from 20B on that first mid, but they were unable to convert that last push, and in fact, they got pushed all the way to the last and lost the first round. As we were talking, they needed that so very badly here, SLIN.
Yeah, it was off the botched two-man sacrifice, and 20B just weren't able to get back that round. But we are into another middle. Maybe 20B can win another middle and get themselves ahead here, as looks like they're going to go for a top right play.
Here's the high pop from Mela again. He chooses Duana as his first prey. He takes him down, makes a trade with Duana.
Wow!
Alec goes down to Alec.
Yeah, he turns around and pushes behind them and gets the kill. Meanwhile, Ash is bombed in over the top and takes down Truktruk. Now he's on to Rando. Hits a crisp rocket there and saves Kozin. Kozin and Ash are able to stay alive together, and I think that favors 20B here. They have the Uber advantage. They got to be careful, though. Yops is sneaking around behind them, is going for a force.
Oh, Ash is 100% ready for him. They knew he was behind, but he's still alive. He's going to be a nuisance as long as he's alive, especially since he's distracting Ash and Kozin enough to the point where Podolsky can just cap the point. They do have advantage.
They have to be aware that Podolsky is still alive here, so there's going to be a trap in the house. 20B probably going to have to go for a yard push here. You see Ash is kind of already setting this up for them. He's scouting out where the enemy is holding their positions, and looks like Kozin wants to take it through the upper lobby here. This is exactly where Podolsky's trap is. They got to be careful. It's above that doorway, but it looks like Showstopper is able to spot it out. But meanwhile, all this time is being killed. 4-4 is getting closer to Uber.
Yeah, they're going to need to pull the trigger right now, and as I say that, you do pop Uber, but are they going to be able to get much with it? Showstopper's doing a lot of damage to Podolsky, but no frags are being turned just yet. Alex is putting pressure on the flank, and again, no one is dying. Rando might get caught out here, but no. Oh. In fact, Alec dies at the end of that Uber. Yeah,
the positioning on Ronin's defenses are so good here. They do pop an early Uber right back at 20B, and this is the exact same problem that 20B had, where you have to cross so much ground, but they're actually able still to turn frags. Shrugger picks up a pistol kill on a Showstopper. Melee goes down over by second point, but Podolsky jumping into the alley, brings Kozin out of single-digit health, and Yops is able to pick up the frag there, gets a second one onto Duana, and Ronin are in the lead.
Yeah, great aggressive play from Podolsky, just isolating Kozin, getting that frag, trading his life for Kozin, which is perfectly fine, giving his team that Uber advantage. And 20B needs this round, SLIN. If they fall another round behind, I honestly don't think they even have a chance at this map.
Yeah, you cannot allow Ronin to get out to this lead, and this is exactly what's happening right here. Kozin, as his medic, you know, he's a very good medic, but he's not quite playing as well as he could be. He's getting caught out in these little positions, and Ronin will find every little opportunity and exploit that. 4-4 now with a 30% advantage. Rando's already getting ready to set up this push.
Yeah, and they're approaching Uber, and it looks like they're heading towards this flank area as they're being spotted out. But again, they're gonna be smart about it. They're gonna be pushing in. Rando just clearing out a ton of space, looking for traps. There are none in sight. Rando and 4-4 are just looking to use this Uber as neatly as they possibly can as they pop through Shutter with Shrugger, but they still haven't found anything. They do get Ash on the right side, but that's about it. Kozin is about to get his Uber. This could be bad for 20. Oh, what? They pushed him back into their spawn so far. Why did they not get any position, SLIN?
That was so questionable. 20B were literally single percentages away from getting their Uber, and they just did not get on the point to block it. There was a 3x on the point. It capped so quickly, and they were able to just sneak that cap right in front of 20B's, right under their noses.
Yeah, they were kiting them so far back, they went into their own spawn. I thought they were in good position to defend that, but they went too far back, and we're here on this this third mid. I'm gonna see what Ash does actually, since Mela's doing a high bomb every round.
Yeah, he does it every single time, and Yops collapses right in on it to take him down. He does take Ash in addition to that, so Ronin are up to a very quick lead at the start of this. Then 4-4 is safely tucked away. He's under no threat at all here. And again, we find ourselves in a position where Ronin have such a large Uber advantage and full control of the map.
Yeah, Ash was just kind of sitting there waiting while Mela was doing work, so that counter strat really didn't work out that round at all. And like you said, 4-4 and Rando had full ad looking to secure this first half.
I mean, we talked about it in the pregame. We know that Mela is going to go for those double bombs. He loves to jump off the wall, and he still manages to catch Kozin in these positions and pick up other frags. Mela's just playing so well in this match. And 404 has such a large Uber advantage heading into this last push. Alec does have a level 2 sentry gun set up on the left side, but I don't think it's going to be enough here.
Yeah, they're going to have to take it down really early with their Uber, and they do just that. They're pushing most of 20B back into their spawn. That was basically a repeat push of last round where they just pushed 20B back into their spawn and got so much time on the point. That is kind of rough.
It's rough.
Ronin capped the last point with like 4 20B players alive 2 rounds in a row within like 3 minutes of each other. That is rough.
Yeah. Rough. We get some Frank Aziz in the chat for that, because that is rough.
Yes.
No, but it's really interesting because Metalworks is a map that actually, it's a slower map because it favors the defending team. There's this wall on the last point that you can hide behind, which allows you to deflect the Uber. But so as the Uber comes in, they let it kill the gun. But what they're forgetting to do is defend the point. And you know, RONIN are just sneaking that scout onto the point. They're getting the 2x, the 3x cap, and 20B are just not reacting in time to block that. So while they're staying away from the Uber and kiting it away, they're losing the objectives, and that's allowing RONIN to get to this 3-0 lead. And man, are they far ahead in this match.
Yeah, I kind of hope for 20B's sake they just kind of take some time and talk about it during the halftime instead of like rage readying, let's get this over with kind of attitude. I think if they kind of play like they did in the first round, they can definitely start taking rounds. It's really not like the last 2 rounds were most definitely a steamroll, but the first round looked very good for 20B until a couple slip-ups cost them the round. And they really need to go over it. Like, how do you counter that melee bomb? It's been working every single round since the first one.
Well, it's not just the melee bomb that you have to counter. You have to counter the scouts that are pushing up there. I mean, melee opens it up, but Yomps is the one to collapse in and get the kill onto Kozin. And the rest of the players on RONIN are just playing so well together. Everybody knows their role, but it's just been tough. If you look at the past seasons, when the #1 seed goes up against the #4 seed in playoffs, it's typically pretty one-sided. And that's just because the #1 seed is usually just really far ahead as far as like how far they progressed. But you know, 20B is not a team that people expected to be in 4th place heading to playoffs here, and a lot of people were expecting a stronger showing from them. And I'm expecting, you know, I'm hoping at least that they'll be able to turn some rounds here and convert something, because they have the potential to do that. We saw them win mids. They won the first mid, and they have, you know, opportunities to push last and turn rounds. They just need to actually be consistent enough to follow through and convert.
Yes, that's exactly right. And regardless of how hopeful the 20 Believe fans are, they are down 3-0 as the second half starts. And who do you think would be the person to look at this mid? Who else but Mela, right?
Mela is going to be a prime suspect here because he's been going for these wall bombs every time, and Ronin's a team that likes to repeat mids over and over again until the other team can figure out how to beat it. And we're probably going to see the same thing from Mela again as he comes out top left, spans a rocket. He's not going for the double up. He does go top right towards the top right platform, but there's really nothing there for him.
Yeah, he goes for the lower bomb, taking the control. Hits 2 nice, crispy, clean rockets onto Sizer, but the rest of the 20B squad is going down while all that happens. So what do you think? The pressure from Mela in the backfield caused them to just melt, or what? Well, I didn't see any of it. It all happened so quickly.
I mean, yeah, what he does there is he jumps top right side and robs the high ground away from the team, and then also holds their health pack so they can't take that. And then meanwhile, the rest of RONIN was doing a great job of intercepting the bombing players like Ash and Showstopper, and 20B went for a full aggressive play. Unfortunately for them, if it doesn't work out, it's an all or nothing play.
All right, sorry for interrupting there, but Alex was getting aggressive on Sniper, trying to make a play for his team. I kind of agree with that at this point. You need to start getting desperate. You can't afford to lose another round in this first map here, but he doesn't turn the frag, but Sizer does have a nice level 2 sentry gun to defend this last push. As Badonsky gets Uber, he actually gets launched into the sentry gun by Derwatna, and they still haven't taken down the sentry gun. They're using most of their Uber to take down the sentry gun, as Kozin is not even close to Uber, but they are trying to get back in position here.
Yeah, they do have positional advantage, so that's allowing them to turn some frags. And they're going to bomb towards the point. Badonsky putting the 1x there. Sizer and Alec turn around to try and stop that. They bring Badonsky down so low, but he manages to stay alive, throwing stickies onto the point. Here comes the bomb from Mela to follow up on that, and that's going to be the round for RONIN. 4-0, they're out to a tremendous lead. RONIN are playing so well.
Yeah, Badonsky did like 150 damage while he was at like a sliver of health and capping the point. So huge play coming from Badonsky. And as you said, 20B had such positional advantage, but they just lost it all of a sudden with the double bomb coming from Rando and Mela. Just got absolutely consumed by rockets.
Yeah, 20B, if they want to get around on the board, they got to stop wiping on these middles here. Duatna out to another very aggressive middle, throwing stickies at the bottom shutter door. That's exactly where Ronin is coming out as Melee tries to get in behind. Alex able to hold him off, though, so 20B looking pretty decent, but a couple frags turned back from Ronin. It's a 4-on-4.
Yeah, it's a 4-on-4 here. Showstopper has good positioning on the point, but it looks like they're going to be backing off here in favor of keeping their medic alive. Actually, their medic goes down as I say that, so I don't really know what they were doing. Showstopper had decent health on that midpoint and just walked back and slowly died to the perpetual scattergun shots from Yomps and Shrugger.
Yeah, this is one of those rare middles where 404 did die, and then Rando brought it right back, jumped on top of Kozin, and got the kill that he needed there to even out the Ubers. And Ronin have been very consistent. They've been winning these last 4 middles, so 20B, they just need to get a defensive victory. That's what they need to do. They need to slow the game down. They need to let Ronin push and let them botch the push and then capitalize on that. Unfortunately, Ronin just have been so good on their pushes that there's nothing to capitalize on.
Well, maybe the crit streak is the answer in this situation. They aren't actually going to have crit streak advantage because Kozin got the spawn wave after 4-4 did. I don't know if Kozin knows that. Well, you might see some really awkward aggressive crits play, but as far as a defensive victory goes, if Ronin doesn't know 20B is on crits and they pop their Uber early, this could be a big fat crits from Duatna or Showstopper
tremendous
here.
Disaster. I mean, yeah, it is a very risky play, and 404 does have Uber, and Uber beats crits if you can pop it off there. Kozin's walking forward, crits onto Duatna. 404 reacts in time and pops his Uber. Doesn't save Yomps, but still they're gonna be able to walk it in as invincible players.
Yeah, Duatna's actually doing a fair amount of damage with the crits on Uber players, keeping 404 isolated here. Is no one gonna jump him? Oh my god, Duatna, holy crap! Duatna's doing everything. He's going in, trying to make even more plays for his team, as it seems like no one else is doing much. As I say that,
but Showstopper
does take down 2 players, and he takes down 404. Showstopper doing an excellent job at capitalizing off Duatna's ridiculous damage after that Uber exchange. And Bonoski's
he's got a lot on his hands, though. Alec does not have enough ammo to hold off Yomps, so Yomps is right in for the finisher, takes him down. Bonoski's here to help finish off Kozin. And despite 20B's good play, despite Showstopper's 3K, Ronin still managed to come out on top. And 20B were not able to retake middle, but that was an interesting crits play by them.
Yeah, like you said, they did counter the Uber. They only lost Yomps in that crits, but from my perspective, Duatna was hitting literally every single sticky onto that pile of Ronin players in flank, and it most definitely is the bright spot of the Straight Hoots team this match so far. Duatna's damage output during post Uber has been fantastic. Just no one is cleaning up the frags. Even with Showstopper getting 3 frags, there's no one else turning frags after that Uber.
Yeah, well, we talked about how good Duatna is, but they're going to need more than that if they're going to hold off Ronin here. Ronin has the 50% Uber advantage trying to walk through the left side, and there's really no threat onto 404. Ash is not in a position for a force. Alec does get caught over by the upper doorway of lobbies, so they're going to pick up a frag despite not even using their Uber. And free cap for them on 4th point. Rando still wants to walk it towards last point. Kozin is very close to getting his Uber here. They should be able to defend this.
Yeah, I don't know if Ronin's going to be trying to use here or just kind of stalemate it out. They do lose Mela. Maybe we can see some cheeky Mela sniper. He's been very good at sniper the few times he actually has switched to sniper this season. So, Ash with the counter sack.
That was actually pretty decent.
4-4.
Yeah, very good mechanics there. He's just like going for that pogo and try and get into 404. Just 404 is able to surf that one away. And speaking of mechanically talented players, 404 is one of those.
Yeah, that is true. I honestly wasn't expecting that, even though that's the standard counter stack. I was more focused on seeing what Mela switched to. He does go back to Soldier, and I kind of think that, oh my god, Truktruk just ran in and fragged Sizer. Yeah. Talk about a trade. So there is going to be no counter stack from 20B after that exchange.
I mean, you're right. Mela is very, very good on Sniper. We saw him on Granary just tearing it up. But the reason they're going to swap Shrugger over to Sniper instead of Mela is because you need those soldiers up to hold these choke points to make it harder for the enemy team to push out and not get forced. So having Mela alive on soldiers is a huge benefit to the team, and swapping Shrugger over to Sniper is a good call here as well.
Yeah, and speaking of counter-sniping Shrugger, we have Sizer hitting the headshot onto Mela after Ash actually did eat a direct rocket from almost point blank onto Mela. I don't think Mela noticed until Ash got away that he actually shot a spy. And Ash is not actually switching classes here. I don't know why he just showed himself to Mela. I don't know what class he was, but yeah, they know he's Spy now.
Ash is a bit of a troll. We talked about how much of a troll he is on Twitter, and he's just trolling right now, getting headshots.
Just doing the drive-by headshots here. He hits another one and goes down for his troubles. Oh wait, he's using the dead ringer.
Yeah,
Ronin
maybe trying to bait them into pushing. That's kind of the play. Is, oh, you killed Ash, so maybe we can push, but he's actually not dead. He's actually hitting a surprising number of headshots there on Spy, as Sizer and Truktruk duke it out left side. Truktruk doesn't go down though, and things are still stamulating out, but the stalemate doesn't favor 20B here because Ronin are so far ahead in rounds.
Yeah, Ash is just being the ultimate troll here, just running in, just hitting every single headshot and then dead ringing as soon as he's in any danger. And I kind of like this play, but obviously they can't afford to slow down the game if they actually want to win this match. He hits another headshot onto Truktruk and he surfs his way out. This is very silly.
I think he's just showing off at this point. He's just like, yeah, look, we might lose this match, but look how many headshots I can hit. I'm pretty good at this game.
Yeah, let's see if he hits another, or is Truktruk gonna... Oh, he hits another! And no one's really doing anything about this, as Ash is just trolling here. And I honestly, Ronin's probably perfectly fine with it. They're up 4 rounds. They don't need to screw around and throw their lives away. As I say that, Yomps almost kills himself with a sentry gun. Yeah,
I think Yomps was maybe going for a sacrifice play there because they realized the team was playing so close to the chokes. But that sentry gun is going to hold him off. And again, yeah, Ronin are just perfectly fine with slowing this down here because they know they're confident in Truktruk's sniping ability. If you wait long enough, he's going to get something. And that's exactly what their plan is. They're just going to wait by the shutter door and wait for Truktruk to turn a pick.
Yeah, they're walking through here. 4-4 is probably going to have to be forced to pop if he peeks out at all. And Rando thinks better of that push and jumps back as Truktruk is looking to peek aggressively here with no pressure on him whatsoever. And he takes down Sizer with ease.
Yeah, now they're trying to peek for an angle for Truktruk to peek wide right side. Rando gets the trade onto Duana. That's actually really good for them as the Ubers popped in by Kozin.
The Spy. Oh no, this is a terrible Uber exchange for 20B, but at the only bright spot is the wonderful construction working of Alex just keeping that sentry gun alive. He runs out of metal, and he's still keeping the sentry gun alive, holding off that 20B push, but is it long enough as Ash hits another headshot, helping turn the frag onto Rando, and Yomps goes down as well.
Yeah, that should have been really good for Ronin because they got the opening picks that they needed. They got the demo man, for God's sake, but they just couldn't win out. Ash was hitting too many headshots, I guess. And look, they're pushing out with the Spy. What is going on here?
Honestly, the amount of damage he's doing with each one of those headshots, it might actually be worth playing Spy at this point, but Sizer does throw his life away, and there's no way they're going to be able to push onto the second point here with Sizer being down. In fact, Mela's looking to get aggressive with Truktruk. Truktruk's actually onto Duatna. He trades with Duatna, and this is looking really good for Ronin here as they approach getting their Uber.
Yeah, they want to go for this push. Duatna's dead. They're peeking their way in. There's nothing set up here from this engineer. So now it's going to be a 5-on-5 fight on to last. Rando gets the opening pick, and Ronin are trying to collapse onto this point, and this is looking very good for them as the Ubers pop.
Goes Pyro to counter the Spy, and that's a 5-0 pretty handily. As we mentioned, 20B not converting that first round really seemed to seal the deal, at least from our perspective from watching this match. It was a roll.
Yeah, it was all Ronin all the way, and you're right, there was that one opportunity for 20B to turn around at the very beginning, but yeah, Ronin just looked so good. Even at the end there, though, I'm still pretty impressed actually by Ash's headshots. Like, it's not easy to get that many headshots on Spy, and it was hard to watch the kill feed too because he kept dying, but it was a dead ring death, so you just couldn't rely on that as a source of information. But yeah, Ronin looks so good.
Yeah, speaking of looking so good, 73 frags to 36 going Ronin's way. If that's not total dominance, I really don't know what is. Maybe Street Hoops is just rough on Metalworks, but we'll see. I think they can kind of pull out some more cheeky strats on Sunshine Middle. So as we know, Sunshine Middle is actually even bigger than Metalworks Middle, and that allows for more strategy and more team play. And it might actually favor Street Hoops being the underdog here in a little bit more of an open map.
Yeah,
no,
we'll see.
It might be too hopeful.
I mean,
Is the 20 believe side of me just kind of squeaking out there? I don't know.
Like, we just saw a 5-0. It was pretty one-sided. There were very few opportunities for 20B to get themselves back into the match. There's a couple times that come off the top of my head. The time that you were blowing up as Duatna jumped into alley and got a bunch of damage and Showstopper followed up. Like that was a clear opportunity for them to potentially take back mid and take back around, especially being on Kritzkrieg gives you that opportunity for that. But 20B it's like they're really good. It's just that they don't have that little bit of extra polish that you need to take down a team like RONIN. I mean, it's good enough for you to go 11-5 and get a very solid winning record in Invite and take down virtually every team in North America. You're better than virtually every team except for that one team is just so much better than you. And you can just see, like, even in Invite at the very top, there's still a gap between the number 4 team and the number 1 team.
Yeah, you're right about that. And when it comes to that last match, statistically, the scouts kind of did not do nearly as well as Yamps and Shrugger. You think Yamps doing 165 DPM would easily be the lowest in the server, but Alec and Sizer hitting up that 135 and 132 DPM with Shrugger basically just going nuts as scout on a very, very poor scout map, in my opinion. Probably the second worst scout map in the game. He still gets 263 DPM as scout. So that's maybe what they need. They need that, like, they need that scout power, cleaning up those frags. Like we said, like we saw Duatna doing that damage and Showstopper cleaning up the frags. Showstopper probably shouldn't be the person cleaning up the frags as Pocket. You need your scouts to be cleaning up those kills, and that really wasn't happening. In fact, Alec and Sizer turning 9 total frags with Yamps and Shrugger getting 36 total. So that's not very close.
No, it wasn't. And a lot of people are gonna look at this match and go, yeah, like Sizer and Alec didn't have the best game. And a lot of people also say that, yeah, Yamps and Truktruk are really good at scout, but I got to give some credit over there to the combo of RONIN. I'm talking about 404, Badonsky, Rando. Those 3 guys played a very, very solid game. I think the Ubers that we saw out of Street Hoops just weren't effective, and the reason that happened is because of the positioning of RONIN, just staying super far away, not giving Showstopper any opportunities with those Ubers to make plays. And on the other side of the map, they were pushing so hard with every Uber advantage. Like there was just no doubt in your mind when you saw RONIN with an Uber advantage, they were going to get 2 kills with that Uber, hands down.
Even if they were forced early, they were getting those early frags, and those frags with that Uber, they're just so aggressive. They have so much speed, as we've been saying, and just pushing right through. And to go off of what you're saying, that core Rando, Badonsky, and 404 with their Ubers, their positioning was so good, but even with that, they were also doing a great job forcing Kozin in very awkward positions with those Mela bombs, those great sticky snipes from Badonsky, and just forcing Kozin to have several terrible Ubers throughout that match.
Yeah. And
do you think it's going to change this match? I want to say it will.
I honestly don't. I don't think it will. I hope it will, but I don't think it will. If you guys are just joining us now, this is the upper bracket round 1 between the number 1 seed RONIN and the number 4 seed Street Hoops. And RONIN, again, they're the defending champions. They were the best team in North America last season. Street Hoops did play second last season. They were the runners up, but it's not looking too close in that first map. But we're going to head into the second map here, which is CP Sunshine. And this is the best of 3. So if RONIN take down this map, then they will move on to face Froyotech in the upper bracket finals. And they will send Street Hoops Esports down to the lower bracket to face against EVL. And just really briefly talking about that, Truktruk, I think that that if Street Hoops does go up against EVL, that'll be a really close match, and I think that Froyotech up against RONIN would be close as well.
Yeah, as much as I dread Granary, the matchup between EVL and 20B on Granary a few weeks ago was actually one of the more entertaining matches for me to watch and cast last season. It was a very, very good game with 20B squeaking out that victory. And I don't know what maps are next for the next section of the playoffs, but if they duel again on Granary, that's going to probably be another barn burner.
Yeah, it's really interesting the way that ESEA chooses their maps. Is like that's all pre-done ahead of time because the servers are not super flexible, so they can't do like traditional pick ban that you would see in other games. But I think for what it is, like they have the maps already laid out for them. They can spend tomorrow practicing, and then we'll see those matches go down on Thursday. Looking back at this match here tonight, though, RONIN versus Street Hoops, like we said, it's been pretty one-sided. 5-0 It's pretty consistent with the results that we've seen with Ronin throughout the other matches throughout the season. We've seen a lot of 5-0s, a lot of 5-1s, and 5-2s. Like Ronin have been sweeping the competition, and heading into this next map, it's not looking it'll be too much different. Although Street Hoops, they gotta have to come up with something different here if they want to come with a victory. I think maybe a Spy Deadringer play wasn't the exact choice that they needed, but I like the creativity at least.
Yeah, it actually like it went from troll to like, is this actually kind of good? Like, so you never know. Yes, it went from being a troll to is this actually kind of good? I don't know. It most probably was a troll. Like, it's Ash. Let's be real here. But it almost worked out for him. But as far as Ash goes, he's actually been playing pretty well. That at least that last match, and obviously they are on a 7-game winning streak up until the match we just casted. They did lose, so their 7-game winning streak is over. But they did get that streak for a reason, and I think that has a lot to do with Ash's play throughout the second half of the season.
Yeah, I really like the addition of Ash to the 20B team. I mean, we talked about how he was a world champion last year at I-55 playing scout for Froyotech, and he's back and he's doing pretty well. Like, you can tell, like, he does have the mechanical skill needed to carry a team to victory here, and or not carry, but like, you know, bring a team to victory. And he's got what it takes to win. Looking at the other players on 20B, I mean, they got a lot of talent here. They've got solid players. This is a team that almost reminds me of Ronin like 5 seasons ago when they were under other names like Ascent and LIT and the many other names that they went under. They were always like that third place team that was just outside of the top 2 and trying to find a way to break in. And they've been together for a while. I'm just hoping they have that breakout moment that really skyrockets them to the next level.
Yeah, you can't forget EVL. And were they Exultants at one point too? I want to say they were, but I'm not really sure. But yeah, they've been changing names a lot in orgs, and it seems like they actually finally found a really nice sponsor in Ronin. That's kind of a little off track, but that's kind of cool for TF2 to have a pretty good sponsor. At least sponsors starting to flow in this TF2 scene.
Sure.
That's about it.
I don't know. What am I going to say about that? I mean, yeah, it's great to have sponsors in the game.
Really
I think that TF2 eSports is awesome, and yay eSports. No, I'm actually really excited for TF2 because like the matchmaking has been a really great addition to TF2. I think that needs to be built out a little bit more, but I'm really excited to see more players getting into sixes and getting involved and checking out the pro scene. And this is a really good match to watch. I mean, even if it is a 5-0, it's awesome to see the display of skill that Ronin is putting on. They're putting on a clinic here tonight, right? They're just showing you how a team can play cleanly and dominate the competition. Like, that's definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely entertaining. I'm having a blast here. And you know what's kind of peculiar, what I see in the server right now? I don't know if Mathsad's in the server. I think he is. Ash is on Medic. So this might be like, is this real? Is Ash going to play Medic and Kozen's going to play Soldier?
I mean, we did see Kozen playing Soldier back on Granary when they were playing against the Bugs, and it was Blank who was ringing for them on Medic. But I don't know about Ash on Medic in this matchup here. I think they've been scrimming with Kozen on Medic. They should probably play with him on Medic, right?
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I think Ash and Kozen have been playing fine this series thus far. I don't think switching them around is actually going to be beneficial because I believe both are infinitely better at their respective classes. And switching it up will just do nothing but harm unless they really need to lighten the mood in their mumble and just be like, okay, let's chill, play some TF2, and let's have a good time. See if we can win some rounds here. I really don't know.
Let's do some analysis. Let's do some predictions. We got 12 players in the server here. We already saw that Ronin took down 20B 5-0 on the first map, Metalworks. It's going to be the second map here, Sunshine. If 20B can win this map, they'll send it to the third map process. But, you know, Kurt, I'm going to throw it over to you and ask you what your predictions are. Who do you think is going to win this map, and what do you think the score is going to be?
Well, I think it's obvious to say that Ronin... I think it'd be honestly foolish to think that 20B is going to win. Like, I don't think it's impossible for them to win. But after that last map, I want to say 5-1 20 or 5-1 Ronin, and 20B will get that first round. I think 20B will get that first round.
Oof, man, that's a lot of faith.
I believe in 20B getting the first round.
If we're gonna throw predictions out there, I think if 20B wins any of the middles, I think that RONIN are gonna be able to hold last point. They're gonna swap to an engineer real quick, and they're gonna be able to kite this away. I mean, Sunshine's a map with a very large last point, and even if they fall down in uber percentage, they're gonna be able to get a force and hold that. I think it's gonna be 5-0. RONIN should take another sweep here, and yeah, we're about to head into this match. We've seen RONIN like most recently playing on Sunshine against EVL Gaming, and that was a 5-0. So I'm expecting nothing less from RONIN here as we get into the second map in this best of 3. RONIN versus 20B. Can RONIN move on? If they win this match, they will go on to face Frototech in the upper bracket.
Finals. Yeah, and Ash is on Medic, Kozen is on Roamer or Pocket, and it looks like Duwatna's getting some good positioning on this middle area, hitting a nice stickies onto the Bodonsky. Both demo men are half health. As I'm looking and seeing Showstopper and Kozen getting into that flank area of RONIN, but RONIN is taking so much control over this point area as they take down Kozen very early. Alec is getting caught out in his own choke area. He's not going down just yet. In fact, he takes down Rando, and frags are being traded everywhere here, SLIN.
Nice serve from 404, stays away from Showstopper and is able to manage to stay alive. Alec just pick a kill onto Yomps, but that's not going to be good enough. He's in a 1-on-3. He's in a lot of trouble. He's dodging. He's moving. He's dunking. He's moving. He's taunting. He's dead.
But the bright spot of that mid for 20B is that their medic actually lived. That's very rare within this last within this series. Their medic living on mid fights that they do lose. So this should be good enough to hold second here.
Yeah, we'll see. RONIN moving their way through choke. They got no uber advantage, but the number advantage is there for them. Alec is coming out of spawn and trying to catch up in time. Rando bombs are on the right side, and RONIN move left.
Oh, Ash is in a very precarious position with very low health as well. He hasn't dropped yet, and he does drop. As I say that, Yomps just gives him the 180 meat and takes him down. Just spinning around and hitting that shot.
Giving him the meat like a butcher at the market. He's yeah, he's coming in. RONIN are right on that last point, and that's gonna be the round 1-0. And Streams didn't get that first mid. Kurt,
no,
I think your prediction was wrong.
Get the first round. I want to watch Kozen this mid just to see like what he's going to do. It looks like Showstopper is actually on Roamer here. Both soldiers are getting healed up pretty heavily as the rollout to this mid is very long compared to other maps, so both soldiers can get that really meaty 300 health. And Kozen is just walking along through choke as Showstopper already goes down. He's Kozen's still spamming down onto Yomps. There's really nothing going on. He's basically getting a good perspective of his team getting mulched as he jumps on top of 404 and doesn't get much out of it. Kozen basically watching his team die there.
Ooh, nice.
Before he was able to do anything.
Nice little air shot there by Duwatna. It's not going to be good enough. Actually, he's surrounded. Oh, almost finds an opening to get out. Rando hits the air shot, and Truktruk finishes it off. And that late death from Duwatna is not going to help them out here. RONIN are on a tear, getting that middle already on 4th point ×4. They're spamming out the sentry gun before the push even comes in.
And they're already wrapping on that last one.
Oh my goodness, it's bad. And Rando's just all over the place getting everything. And here comes Libra on the left side, getting more kills. And RONIN are just sweeping their way through. Is this an admission to defeat by putting Ash on medic, or are they just having a fun time and playing out the rest of the season?
I want to say they're keeping themselves from getting like mad at video games by doing this, to be honest. Like there's no other reason. Like if you really want to win, you're going to have Kozen on medic. If you really want to win, you want to have Ash on Roamer. But switching it up here, they just seem to be throwing in the towel before the game even starts. Unfortunately, we're already down. They're already down 2-0 as I'm watching Mela come through his own cafe here, delaying the bomb. He's just looking around and flank here. He shoots some spam rockets at Duwatna. He's actually shooting all of his rockets at Duwatna, getting him down with some nice focus fire with Rando. Duwatna's countering with some stickies, and this is a very slow developing mid here, SLIN.
Yeah, but actually 20B did knock off a lot of health from RONIN. They just haven't gotten any kills yet. Yomps collapses right side, takes down Showstopper, and Ash is trying his best to get away from Mela. Surfs away, but Mela gets the frag. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, RONIN are able to keep 404 alive. Sizer trying his best to pressure him, but 404 grabs the health back and stays alive there. Fortunately, RONIN get another mid here as Street Hoops are looking to fall down to 0-3. But, you know, 20B doesn't seem like a team that would give up to me. You know, Kurt, like, I know they've been putting in hours. I know they've been scrimming. They're a team that wants to win, and yeah, I'm surprised they're not playing their mains. It looks like Alex on Spy now, so
yeah, they got
I'm just surprised to see this.
Pretty much full Highlander. They have Class Limit 1 on their team currently with Alec on Sniper and Sizer and Showstopper on Heavy and Engineer respectively. And Alec is doing the Ash strat, hitting those headshots with the Den Ringer, and it looks like this push is not going to end too well for 20B once again.
Yeah, this is a little bit reminiscent of last year's ESEA Invite Finals with RONIN versus 20B.
Actually, they are defending this here. The Showstopper Sentry Gun kind of just held them off with Sizer just hooting around, doing that sustained damage as Heavy, and it looks like Ash is looking to crits Dewatna here on this Battlements area, or they're going lower, in fact.
Okay, let's see what happens. Ash is rotating with Dewatna towards the left side. Alex on Spy on Battlements does spot the trap there as the crits is used. They are not. Oh, they get one kill on the Yomps once again. Actually, the crits 2 times they've crits and 2 times they've killed Yomps. 20B actually filling in a second point. No cap time yet, but Mela is trying his best to hold that off.
Yeah, on the other side of that crits, Showstopper and Dewatna, or Showstopper and I believe another 20B scout were just pressuring that. Oh my god, Showstopper's just on a tear right now with a 3K on that exchange, and even though the crits wasn't very good, the sustained damage from the 20B soldiers was very, very good, taking down a lot. Oh my god, Showstopper, what is going on?
Yeah, nice air shot there by Showstopper.
Sider's in deep on Badonsky and takes him out too. Holy crap, is 20B like taking this seriously now? They're only down 2 rounds.
I'm so confused. It's actually kind of working here. Dewatna's in with the stickies, gets a kill. The Uber's popped off. Ash is going to die. The 20B are trying their best to win this as Sizer is behind them. He's trying to face the 1v3. Alex in from behind. Now the bomb in from Kozen. They collapse on a 4-4. Get the kill there. More pressure on Truktruk. They get another kill. And 20B are managing to hang into this fight.
Yeah, 20B is just forcing this game turn into a DM server, and they're winning the DM server currently. But at the end of the day, playing smart wins you fights, and RONIN played that much smarter as they did play around 404's Uber. Showstopper might get caught out here as he does take a splash damage air shot from Mela. And yeah, they're highly talented out there.
It reminds me kind of like that drunken, you know, like kung fu style. Yeah, it's that drunken kung fu style where you pretend like you're drunk, but you're actually kicking the other guy's ass. Yeah. Like they're like goofing around, but actually kind of winning fights that way. Unfortunately, here RONIN are just sweeping their way back through this, and yeah, they got themselves a pretty good lead. I think 404 is going for the old Uber saw and gets Alec down, and only 2 players alive for 20B to try and defend last.
Yeah, they have no Uber to defend with. They're not even like, they barely have left spawn. Dewatna's the only chance they have to defend this last point, and he's getting pressured really hard by Yomps, and he's going to go down, and that is the half already. This is very much another role coming from RONIN, just showing everyone that they are the best team in NA, and this is no joke. They're looking to head into upper bracket finals in stride.
Yeah, I haven't seen RONIN really goof off yet though. You know, last year we saw Rando break out the direct hit. Are we gonna see that in the second half, or is it gonna be all serious, all 5-0, get us home, and then, you know, RONIN just looking forward to their next match?
I want to say they're going to take it seriously. Like, this is playoffs. I know they did it last year, but this TF2 is kind of growing at this point. They should just steamroll it through, show how strong they are, make Frotech scared to play them in this upper bracket finals later on this week. And 20B is not showing up to mid. Showstopper is just climbing the lighthouse, and apparently this is a thing now. Look at Showstopper. He's just clipping into the side of the lighthouse, just kind of floating there, with Alec building a sentry gun underneath, or next to the point rather.
Yeah, they're just giving up. They're just having a good time. Showstopper is, I could say he's building Uber, but he's not. He's kind of just hanging out. And yeah, the level 2, I haven't never seen. I can confidently say I've never seen a sentry in that spot before, Kurt.
Yeah, it's right on that ledge there. It's kind of floating in the air, guarding the outside of the point, I guess. It's kind of keeping it's kind of actually a good sentry gun, but unfortunately Showstopper just holy shit, this is actual Highlander. Showstopper just killed himself to give Alex some ammo to build a sentry gun. Alec is actually blocking rockets with his face to try to save the sentry gun's life, but it was to no avail. They could not save the little sentry gun that couldn't. and it looks like Ash and Kozin are trying to come in with their Uber. In fact, it's actually a decent Uber with 2 frags being taken down during this exchange, but they might get caught out here post-Uber.
Rando's trying to catch them.
Rando's
oh man, he's probably gonna die. The fall damage. Meanwhile, Yomps from behind and Podolsky there to kill Kozin.
Showstopper Spy right behind
Spy.
And there it is.
Oh my god.
The Spee taken down for the backstab. The infinite damage frag, and
yeah, Speechstopper over here is getting medic picks and maybe creating opportunity for 20B to get back in this. They got the SMG kill on the Shrugger here as well. Badonsky's got this trap above this doorway. Sizer, does he have his spidey senses? He knows something's up. He's like, this is a little bit too easy.
As clowny as this is, 20B has not lost the round yet. They might be putting Ronin on tilt with all this shenanigans. Like, they are actually pushing into mid. They do have Uber advantage after all of this crap. Alec right-clicks Rando into the respawn queue, and it looks like they're gonna actually take mid here with this Alec Pyro, and
no way. No. I mean, it was a nice try, but look at Shrugger. He's going try hard again. Mela's in there. They collapse on the combo, force the Uber. No mid for 20B. Sad boys in the chat. Okay. the crossbow
takes
kill.
off his Uber and just frags Mela, who thought he was safe. But no, he was not, and it looks like the shenanigans are not going to work out. But it was kind of interesting to see how it almost worked.
That's exactly what we should call this. It's shenanigans. It's tomfoolery. Well, that's the word I was looking for. Tomfoolery, shenanigans. Ronin are trying to take it seriously, but 20B are having none of it. They're just playing whatever they want.
And here's the direct hit from Rando. He's joining the party as
finally.
He's missing every shot on Kozin, and he finally pulls out the shotgun to turn the frag. And they're kind of just looking for frags here. They're not really, excuse me, they're not really capping the point just yet. As Yomps gets a nice headshot onto Alec, who is still not dead for some reason. And Yomps finishes off his own damage with his melee weapon. And is 4-0 Ronin GG. I'm actually very interested to see what 20B pulls out this mid, because that was actually, despite the shenanigans, that was very fun to watch. Let's see, we got Showstopper on Spy and Alec on Sniper here.
I mean, I kind of wanted to see the double pyro strats like the old days, and you sneak a pyro in behind through alley or something and try and get a back burner kill. But yeah, Banowski, he's been doing this every single middle. He's out so far there, just sticking off the choke, and Ronin trying to play it clean.
Yeah, Showstopper kind of just playing Spy at this mid area here, kind of scouting it out. He knows 4-4 is hurt. I'm surprised he's not decloaking, trying to get that pistol frag, but instead he's just... He really wants that backstab kill. You get 2 points for the kill. He's going for the 2-pointer instead of the 1, and 4-4 is already suspicious.
Oh, Speechstopper, please. Wait, he's actually heading up against this wall.
Yomps just blindly shooting at stuff, and then hilariously hit him, but he did not. And Showstopper's still alive.
Wait, he's actually in position. He's actually in a really good position for this backstab. He's uncloaking for it. Oh, no, Rando's there. No,
you have to realize 4-4 is a Highlander medic. That's not going to work out for you, as Banowski bombs in takes down Ash. He has those spy ears, the spy sense, and Badonski's looking to get a little aggressive with this Uber with Mela and Rando following up his damage. No one's really dying. There's not many people to kill, as they haven't even capped the 4th point here.
Like a farmer taking out his dog to the yard to put him down, I think Ronin's gonna put him down here and allow us to get home, or maybe not. It looks like they're throwing this push and they're gonna lose 3 players.
I think 20B's got him exactly where they want him. Alec is just swinging his sword at 4-4 as 4-4 tries to turn the frag onto Alec, but he does not. And it looks, where's Shrugger? Okay, Shrugger does go down to Kozin trading on that final point there, and they are capping, and they're looking to get super aggressive with the sneaky Showstopper. He was Spy, now he's sneaky Putis, and they don't know. Here he comes, the jump spin up. Oh, he's not good enough at heavy to do a jump spin up, but he's training right now as we speak.
Dude, it's got to be pretty hard actually to jump that high with a minigun like that. Like, that is not easy.
You need to work out.
This guy
work out those leg muscles.
Yeah, Speechstopper is he's having fun. He's doing his thing, and I don't know. I don't see any heavy frags coming in here, but they're gonna go for the same play twice. It looks like Duana goes to the deep. Yeah.
Is he gonna turn the frag? 4-4's hitting arrows as Duana actually turns the frag. 20B is at a huge advantage here, but unfortunately they got Yomps capping second, and this is probably GG at this point. It looked good, but not good enough.
At this
There's
point,
no way they're gonna be able to defend
now
this.
it's GG. After the 5-0 on
Yeah,
Metalworks and the
now
4-0 on
it's
Sun,
GG.
now it's GG.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
Now it's
That's
GG.
good. Well, if it's any kind of GG, it would be RONIN GG, because they just took that map and they just took themselves a ticket to the upper bracket finals to face off against Froyotech, and that was a perfect match, right? That was a 5-0 on Metalworks and a 5-0 on 5-0 on Metalworks and a 5-0 on Sunshine. It wasn't perfect, actually. It was far from perfect. That last map was pretty sloppy, but hey, for RONIN, they're happy. They'll take it. They'll get the win, and they'll move on. And looks like Street Hoops will go down to face EVL in the lower bracket finals. But that was TF2, right, Kurt? That was a match. That was a video game.
I mean, it happened. We watched it. We're here. We're all live at the end of the day. And even though with the shenanigans Street Hoops kind of displayed near the end there, I really kind of feel like they accepted defeat. But at the same time, I do feel like their matchup versus EVL is going to be a very good one. They know they can beat that team. They have beaten EVL very recently on Granary, so I don't see any reason for them not to take it very seriously going into the lower bracket. But more importantly, the teams that are playing really good right now, Froyotech and RONIN, how do you think that match is going to play out? When is it happening, SLIN? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, we're going to be doing both of these casts on Thursday, actually. So
nice.
Both of these teams are going to take a day of rest to practice up their game and really prepare for the big match, right? The match that we're all looking forward to. It'll be the number 1 versus the number 2 team, and the number 3 versus the number 4 team. So those are going to be close matches. And for RONIN, they're looking forward to defending their title, defending their championship. And for Street Hoops, I think for them, it's like, at least if for nothing else, do it for the money, right? Like, try and beat EVL and take 3rd place and do it for the money. But it's for the pride too. I think Street Hoops, they have a very good chance to get a victory here against EVL Gaming. That'll be a very close match. But yeah, both these matches will be casted on Team Fortress TV and also Team Fortress TV 2. So look forward to both of those streams.
Yeah, I honestly can't wait. Even though this was a roll, it was very exciting and very fun to cast with you, SLIN. It was nice to cast with another caster. I'm getting around the casting scene in NA. I'm meeting some friendly folks such as yourself, even though obviously we met in person at Tip of the Hats. But it's very nice to cast with you, SLIN.
When you said getting around, the first thing I thought of was herpes. I was like, you're describing yourself like you would describe herpes.
It's like the matchmaking beta passes. I'm just getting around, But
yeah.
Anyway.
For sure. Anyways, I really enjoyed casting with you too, Kurt. I had a really good time. And let's give a big thank you to our cameraman tonight, Mathsad. He did a great job, and we really appreciate having him here to cast this with us and to bring you guys some awesome TF2 action. So don't forget to follow our stream, Team Fortress TV. Go check out the website, teamfortress.tv is where you can go to get all the news regarding competitive TF2, all the coverage, all the drama, and all the pootis, Kurt. And I think that's where we're going to wrap up the cast. Thank you so much. Thank you to my co-caster, Truktruk. My name is Mr. SLIN, and we will see you guys on Thursday night for more TF2 action. Catch you then.